Some breaking news out of Bank of America on their small business lending program. Wilfred Frost here. What can you tell us, Wilf?
Yeah, so Kelly, I've got some numbers. Just got off the phone with Bank of America. Of course, they were the first of the biggest banks to open their process to apply for a Paycheck Protection Program loan. As of about 10 minutes ago, they've had over 60,000 applications, totaling over $6 billion worth of requests. Some astonishing numbers there. And bear in mind, they've got over 1 million small business customers. So if it continues at this rate and most of their clients apply, the numbers are just going to be even bigger. 60,000 so far, $6 billion of requests so far. They are also adjusting their policy to now address all small business clients that they have with a checking account. They don't now need to have had a previous lending relationship with the bank. You and Kayla discussing last hour how that had attracted a bit of heat from people like Senator Marco Rubio, and it's kind of a lose-lose situation in them. They were trying to do that in order to speed up the process for those clients that they had the most details on. Either way, they've adjusted the policy as things stand. And of course, those numbers also highlight that they have been open to 60,000 customers in a way that perhaps some of the other banks who hadn't opened yet were. But some pretty astonishing numbers. And as we've said throughout this, it is a first-come, first-served basis, which worries some small businesses. But Secretary Mnuchin has said throughout, and Speaker Pelosi this morning also said throughout, that if it goes past that total $350 billion, they would be open to extending that amount. Cal?
Wilf, thank you. Ty?
You know, Wilf, if you take this number and you take it and extrapolate it across all of the banks, this is one bank, Bank of America, 60,000 today alone. Take that across the major banks. Then take that to the TD banks and the local banks that are doing this. You just wonder whether the computer infrastructure is going to be able to handle it, or is it going to be reminiscent, remember, of the initial response to Obamacare back a half dozen or so years ago?
Well, listen, of course, Tyler, the numbers are just unbelievable. And throughout the last couple of days, there's been criticisms and complaints flying around. Who's going to be ready by midnight? Who isn't going to be ready? And clearly, for any small business that thought today they would be getting the money and hasn't got it yet, the pain must be indescribable. The flip side, if we get to the middle of next week, the end of next week, and everything is up and running smoothly, I think you'd have to say, well, this is a program of this scale that typically would have taken many, many months to get ready. And if all the banks get it going within the space of, say, 2 weeks as opposed to 1 week initially, then perhaps that's something that would have to be applauded at that point. At the moment, we're still sort of stuck in the middle. But these numbers from Bank of America processing 60,000 applications shows the scale on these banks' hands. And no doubt Bank of America is going to have more ability to respond to that number than some of the smaller banks might.